CUPS is the common Unix printing system. It's very, very common. It's one of the most popular ways of printing within the Unix Linux world. The primary mechanism for YouTube printing is using CUPS. This printing system is freely available, a portable printing layer, which has become the new standard for printing in most Linux distributions. CUPS manages print jobs and queues and provides network printing using the standard Internet Printing Protocol, IPP. IPP has been out there for a while. It uses its own port 631. You can see how that plays into there. It allows you to print over the internet, and there's lots and lots of services out there on the internet right now that kind of allow that. CUPS uses that standard. Also, while offering support for a very large range of printers, from dot matrix to lasers and many in between. I was playing with some of these just as some of the different scenarios, and the printers that I had at home that I tried with, even though, they're not necessarily obscure, but for Windows, I have to download the drivers. Windows doesn't know what they are. Ubuntu knew what they all were. So it was kind of interesting that it had drivers for everything in there that, I put into it. CUPS also supports PostScript driver descriptions, PPDs, and auto detection of network printers, and features a simple web-based configuration. So yes, we will be using the command prompt to do some of our configuration, just like we are working with like Zential, or what else do we use that with? Where we end up having the web interface for it that we could access and graphically manage some of our systems. Printing is one of those features that we do not have to do all from the command line. We're going to start with the installation. It does take a couple minutes. So we're going to get started. And it is sudo apt-get install, and it's CUPS. Sudo apt-get install CUPS. Sorry, try again. There we go. Do you want to continue? Hit enter. Yes, you do. And it'll take probably 3, 4, 5 minutes or so to do this. So we'll sort of just wait for this for just a minute. While this is working, I'm going to try to do this a little bit differently here using Paint. I've started describing of how a print serving environment works. This is like our Ubuntu server, and it's running CUPS. And I can't do this very well, but that's okay. It looks like a cup. So I'm running CUPS. Off of there, we connect to our printer. Now what's nice about how the print servers work is that this connection right here could be wired, it could be wireless, it could be a USB cable, it could, basically a local printer, or it could be across the network using Ethernet, pretty much anything. If this is a network printer and this is on the same network and can get to it, it can manage it. In addition, it can handle multiple types. Like it said, dot matrix, it can do plotters, it can do laser printers, it can do pretty much any kind of printer that you can connect to. And again, whether it's a local printer or a network printer. This handles all the drivers. So these are your driver files. Here's a driver for the one printer. Here's a driver. So everything is located on the server. So the server manages all that printing. Now that makes it a print server. Now the advantages of this are huge. So when you have these workstations over here, here's a computer and here's a computer. When you go to want to print, all you have to do is connect to your CUPS server. So if this is a workstation, that's a workstation. It just connects your CUPS server, your print server, and then it handles the communication of the printer. So with that one connection, I can print to either of these printers. And that's just one example of having two printers. I could have 3 printers, 4 printers, 10 printers onto there. In addition, this workstation doesn't know or care about drivers. Even in the Windows world, even doing the print server, it's still using local print drivers to manage the printing. So if you want to run to a local laser print printer, you have to have a local laser print driver. And this is bypass, it just dumps it all to the server, and then the server manages it and says, hey, I'll take care of it. You just give me the raw stuff that you want to send, and then I'll take care of it. It manages as far as queuing it as well, so it gets it off this workstation right away. If you have a large document, it just dumps it to the server, puts it on the hard drive in memory, it just stores it there, frees up this computer from doing any processing at all. All this stuff is done on the back end over here on the server, and then it queues it out as it's available. If a job gets stopped because it ran out of disk space, no, I'm sorry, not disk space, out of paper, if it ran out of paper or some other mechanical failure of the printer, the server will keep track of that and then bring it back up as soon as it comes there. You don't have to keep the computer on, the workstation on at all. All you have to do is just say, hey, turn off the computer. You could leave. When the server brings it back up, it will. Just like that printer is out of paper right now, I'll get paper in there before we get that far. Yes? What doesn't do anything? To find out if it's already installed, go ahead and type in status space CUPS. It was in the previous chapter when we talked about file services. We didn't get that far in the chapter, so I didn't have you install CUPS, but you may have gone through the rest of the chapter and installed it. So you have CUPS installed and running already. Status space CUPS. Does anybody else have it installed already too?
Now.
I mean prior to now? You did too? Do you remember installing it at all? No? Okay. It could have been, no, we didn't do package management with this server. We did package management with our Zential server. So if you did the Office install under Zential, that would have definitely installed CUPS and NFS, but that's on a different server. I'm trying to think of where this would have been included with. Well, we have package management in here as well. It's task cell. What would have been included with that? Yeah, we were playing with these early on as far as selecting items and unselecting them. If we chose print server here, that would have installed CUPS. I don't know, there's a couple ways it could have gotten installed. If it's installed, it's fine. I'm sorry?
Maybe that's the way that's how you did it.
Oh, clear. So now we got the CUPS server installed. What do we need to do? Let me check my notes. We have to do a couple things. Going through the text, going through the user's guide for the server, it says that you want to be making a copy of the configuration file to protect it because we will be making changes to it. Like I said, I've done this before and I didn't have any problems, and now over the weekend I just ran through this scenario again and it wouldn't work. I don't know, I tried everything, it just wouldn't work. I ended up reverting back to a snapshot and running through the exact same thing again, and it worked. So that one time not working is making me a little nervous. So it's worked every other time, so I'm pretty confident it will. We're going to follow their their guide though, and we do want to make a copy of the configuration file and the Linux command for that cp. So we want to be typing in sudo cp for copy, and the file that we want to copy is located in the etc directory, in the CUPS directory, and it's a CUPS daemon.configuration file. So cupsd.config for the daemon file. And we want to copy it to /etc/cupsd.conf.original. So we're going to copy that configuration file to conf original. and then we hit enter. And this is right in the textbook or right in the manual. The second command is going to be right out of the manual as well. It's making it so that I don't accidentally overwrite this file. I'm going to add the attribute. I'm going to take away, I'm going to modify the attributes and take away the write. To do that, I use sudo. Oh, I need to be in here. Attribute minus write. And we're taking the write attribute to the cups config original file. So I have a copy of this original file. If I need to go back, can't access. What did I do wrong? Oh, I forgot the D. Cups D config original. There we go. So I also have a copy of the original file in case something goes wrong with making any configurations. We haven't done this for any other services so far. This would be strongly suggested, though, to do this, even under Apache or under FTP, any of the file services that we modified the configuration file. It's always nice to have a copy of the original. We've been relying on so much for snapshots for virtual machines. You don't have that luxury necessarily in the real world. Also, you change your configuration file, and as a simple space or a comma or a period or a semicolon can mess up the entire file and not make it function. So having the original file is always a good idea. Everybody get this installed, copied, and okay, I'll give you a minute to do that. Yeah, you always want to be doing the sudo apt-get update, not the upgrade, but update. That's when we're updating your repositories. And we had that in a couple situations so far that it needed the updated repositories in order to install things correctly. Yeah, if your numlock's not on, you're not going to be able to, you're going to move around and navigate. So again, down here it says only listen for connections from the local machine. It's like the third or fourth section down of white letter areas. When I rem out the first two lines, just by putting a pound sign in front of it, the line will turn blue, knowing that's remarked out, and it won't be run or watched while it's activating. Yeah, if you're looking at line 22 is where I'm at right now. Rem out 20 and 21, port 631. Now there are a couple more lines that I need to change on here as well. And they go down to here. We have three areas. One is called location, and one is called location of admin, and one location admin config. Basically means who's allowed to access the server, who's allowed to access the administrative pages, and who's allowed to access the configuration files. For our use, we are going to, where's my cursor? Here it is. At the end of each of those three sections, before the close of the location, we want to put allow all. So under location, we add a line called allow all at the end of that list. Same thing for admin. So I hit enter, arrow over, spacebar over, and type in allow all. And allow all. So restrict access to the server, restrict access to the admin page, restrict access to the configuration pages. These are roughly around line numbers 45 through 55. That's all going to change on here, but I just want to show you one more thing while we're in here. It says way up towards the top, in fact, with the third white line, line 16 of the document. It says the administrator user group, system group, LP admin. So there's a system group out there. In order to administer the CUPS server, you need to be part of that LP admin group. So I'm just showing that to you because we're going to be adding a user to that group next. So we save this file, hit the escape, :WQ. I updated that file. Anytime you update a configuration file, you need to restart the service that was looking at the configuration file. Services only look at the configuration file when they start up. So if you change stuff, that's fine. They don't take effect until they restart. So the book always uses a different command. The server guide, the PDF file, it always uses a different command. I recommend that you use the sudo service command, Then you type the service that you want, which would be CUPS, and we want to restart it. So sudo service CUPS restart. It stops the service and then restarts the service, loading those new configuration files. Well, the new configurations in those files. And the last thing that we want to do here is, on the server side, is add our local user count, in my case it's Paul B, to that LP admin group. Do you have a question first? You start looking at some of these screens, you get all this extra goofy stuff on there. Just type in clear. And it's just like, oh, okay. It says a lot. You just feel better and you breathe better and, you know, it's clean and nice. Okay. So we should have CUPS running. Just to verify it, type in clear to get a clean screen and type in status CUPS. And it should say CUPS start running. And if your process number doesn't match mine, just keep stopping and starting until it does match. Just kidding. No, you don't have to. A long time. And you might skip over mine and you can't go back, and you know, that'd be bad. Then you have to go back to your last snapshot and then try it again. No, we don't have to do that at all. Okay, let's work on the client side.
Did we have to add the user?
Oh, yes, we were working on that, and then all of a sudden people said, my CUPS isn't working. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, we have to finish this last thing. We want to type in sudo, and we're going to modify user, so we're using user mod. And these are just the switches. I'm not going to explain these. I'm going to add to a group called LP admin. And then I want to add the user, my user account, Paul B. So make sure you add your user account. So sudo user mod dash lowercase a, uppercase G. Yes, they are case sensitive. The LP admin is the group, the system group that you're adding them to. And then you need to add a user account, and in this case it's Paul B. So whatever your user account is. LP admin. That won't work. You hit enter, and again, it doesn't say okay or good job or successful or, you know, you did a really, really nice job on this. Congratulations. It just doesn't tell you anything. And no news is good news. Like that user doesn't exist. Like Bob. So user Bob does not exist. I was showing you that no news is good news. So if there was something wrong, it would tell you that something is wrong. Princess Shawnee. Okay, moving along. Now we can go to our desktop. Our desktop. And we want to see if we can access it. I'm going to go to my web browser. Oh, actually, I want to change one thing first. And this is not related to Linux at all. This is completely a virtual world thing. if you go under VM up in your menu on top and go to Settings, this is changing the settings for this virtual machine. And right now, VMware is like so nice and helpful and friendly and says, you know what, you know those local printers that are on your host computer? I'll give those to your virtual machine, you know, sort of make it a little bit tighter and stuff like that. That kind of like defeats our whole purpose of printing if we have all these local printers available to us. So we want to disable that. So it says this device allows a virtual machine with VMware tools to print to any printers configured on your local host. We want to just cut that off completely, make sure there's no connection there, and saying, hey, you know, we are going to be setting this up. So under device status, we want to uncheck both of those. We do not want to connect it at power on, and we do want to disconnect it. So there's nothing like, no tricks in the background like, oh yeah, you're using VMware tools to print, and nope, no magic here. Straight networking. And we click OK. So that like cuts that all off, so there's no tricks. So now we have to get this to work. I'm going to click on the web browser. And we want to see if we can access the admin page for our CUPS server. We do that by typing in HTTP, not S, just colon. Our server's IP address, mine is 192.168.230.12, and then colon 631. And that should get us to our CUPS web page. So if you forget your server's IP address, just switch over to your server, type in ifconfig, and mine happens to be 230.132. We're connecting to our CUPS server. If you type this in as your IP address and then a colon 631, and again, colon 631 is the port for Internet Printing Protocol and for CUPS, it's going to give you this page. Once you get to this page, you can take a break. If you don't get to this page, let me know and I'll get you to that page.